Hello students, in this lecture video, I'll be discussing about the key concepts of the chapter 14, which is respiration in plants. So firstly, let us understand what respiration is. It is breakdown of food also along with the breathing process, that is respiration. So let us start with the introductory part. Respiration involves release of energy. Like I told you, it is breakdown of food. It is also controlled enzymatically. And because it is breakdown of food means the complex substances will form some simple substances. So it is one type of catabolic process. We will look at the end that it is also sometimes anabolic. Then it involves stepwise oxidative breakdown of food substances which is there in the living cells. Now, cellular respiration means when in the cell, within the cell, the release of energy is there in the form of ATP. Now, when this energy will be formed, when the carbon-carbon bond in the complex compounds like glucose, through the oxidation, it will lead to release of energy. The compounds which are getting oxidized, like for that matter glucose, if it is getting oxidized, it will be called as a respiratory substrate. Next, the energy which is released during oxidation, it is not utilized directly. But what it is done, it is used to form this molecule called as adenosine triphosphate or ATP. Whenever energy is required by the cells, they will break down this ATP molecule and energy will be given to the cell. This is the reason that ATP is also referred to as energy currency of cells. Next is plants, they can get along without respiratory organs. They don't have specific organs for respiration. Why is that so? Because every plant part can take care of its own gas exchange needs. Firstly, because they do not have great demands, and even if the distance that has to be diffusion, the distance which they have to travel, that is not much. And during photosynthesis, oxygen is released in the leaves. So they are already rich in supply with oxygen, wherein they can perform aerobic respiration. Firstly, let us look at in presence of oxygen, if respiration is occurring, it is aerobic respiration. Whether it is in absence or in presence, the first process, that is breakdown of glucose to simpler molecule pyruvate, is a common step. So glycolysis, split the term lysis or breakdown of glucose. Let us look at it, how it is done. It is a stepwise reaction. It is a metabolic pathway because lot of metabolic reactions go into it. Firstly, glucose is being converted into glucose 6-phosphate in the presence of hexokinase enzyme. Here, one ATP molecule is used up. Then in the presence of an isomerase, glucose 6-phosphate will convert into fructose 6-phosphate. This molecule, again with the utilization of one ATP molecule, in the presence of another kinase enzyme, it will produce fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. It is clear that this phosphate group from ATP is being added to fructose 6-phosphate to form fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. Now after this, you can say glyceraldehyde or phosphate or dihydroxyacetone phosphate is being formed, and these are both isomers. These are 3 carbon compounds. Then one NADH molecule is formed in the presence of hydrogenase, forming 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate. In the presence of kinase, one ATP molecule will be released and this one phosphate group will be released over here, forming 3-phosphoglycerate. In the presence of another mutase enzyme, it will form 2-phosphoglycerate, just there is change in the positioning of phosphate group. So mutase enzyme is there. In the presence of enolase enzyme, PEP will be formed, that is phosphoenol pyruvate. And the last step, in the presence of another kinase, again there is release of ATP molecule and pyruvate is being formed. So if we just see the energy levels, okay, in the energy levels we can clearly see that this ATP, one here is used, one here. Okay, so means 2 ATP molecules are used over here. Then if we see over here, 2 ATP molecules are released, 2 here are released, so 4. 4 are released, and 2 NADH molecules are also released. 1 NADH molecule equals around 3 ATP molecules. So it is 6. It comes out to be that 10 ATP are released, whereas 2 ATP are used up. So total how many ATP? 8 ATP. So that is the balance sheet of energy in the process of glycolysis.